Have you ever caught yourself lying awake at night, replaying every word, every moment, wishing you could turn back time just to hear their voice one more time? That ache in your chest isn't just longing, it's a signal, a deep, undeniable truth that what you had mattered more than you ever admitted, and it matters now, right now. The emptiness you feel is not a weakness, it's a doorway, an invitation to confront your heart with honesty and courage. Most people try to push it away, distract themselves, pretend it doesn't exist. But you feel it, and that means you care enough to act, to reclaim something that was once beautiful, or to at least understand what went wrong so deeply that you never repeat it. The truth is, wanting someone back isn't about desperation. It's about clarity. It's about knowing that this person was not just a chapter in your life. They were a mirror reflecting parts of you you didn't even recognize. And when that mirror shatters, part of you feels broken too. That's why every thought you have about them feels like fire and ice at the same time. That confusion, that pain is your mind and heart screaming for resolution, for transformation. And if you stay with me, if you listen closely, you will discover a way to turn that ache into power, into a force that can not only touch them again, but also reshape your entire understanding of love, connection, and self-worth. Before you speak another word, before you try to text, call, or even reach out in your mind, you must first recognize the truth of your own heart. Who are you when you're not seeking them? What parts of you have been waiting in silence, hoping that love could return without you having to change it all? The strongest reconnections never come from repetition, from desperation, from begging for what was lost. They come from presence, from self-mastery, from a quiet but undeniable energy that says, I know my value, and I am ready for love that respects it. That energy is magnetic. It's irresistible. And it starts here, inside you, long before you speak a single word to them. By staying with this, you're not just learning how to get someone back. You're learning how to reclaim your own life, how to cultivate a presence so powerful that anyone who walks away from you instantly regrets it. You are stepping into a version of yourself that they once loved but now will see in a new light. A version that isn't needy, isn't chasing shadows, but radiates confidence, warmth, and undeniable worth. Imagine the look in their eyes when they feel that energy for the first time. The pull will be undeniable, natural, almost effortless, because it comes from truth. If you stay with me through this journey, you will discover the words, the timing, and the energy that speak to the deepest part of their heart, not through manipulation, but through authenticity. You will understand how to open the door that leads back to connection, while also guarding the part of yourself that must remain untouchable until the right moment. And the reward isn't just their return. The reward is transformation. The reward is power. The reward is realizing that you have always been enough, that you have always been magnetic, and that you can step into love again, not as someone pleading for attention, but as someone who commands it without ever asking. Stay with me, because what comes next will change everything about how you approach love, desire, and the connection you thought was lost forever. The energy you carry when you approach love is everything. Every thought, every feeling, every breath shapes the way someone experiences you. Right now, your mind might be racing with doubt, with fear that they have moved on, that the connection is lost forever. That fear is real, but it's not the truth of what you're capable of. The truth is, when you align your heart with clarity, when you cultivate self-respect and presence, you become a force that draws them back, not out of guilt, not out of obligation, but because the person they loved recognizes themselves in you again. That recognition is magnetic. It's primal. It awakens feelings that have been dormant, waiting for a spark that only you can provide. You must understand that every attempt to reach them without this energy, every hurried message, every pleading glance, every desperate thought, diminishes your power. It doesn't push them closer, it pushes them away. True attraction is built on confidence, patience, and authenticity. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that it radiates through every word you speak, even the ones left unsaid. Imagine walking into a room and feeling your own heart beat with certainty, with calm intensity, and knowing that no one else can define the value of your love except you. That is the energy that changes outcomes. That is the energy that pulls a lost connection back to life. Your focus now cannot be on convincing them. Your focus must be on refining yourself, on building an energy so undeniable that when they encounter it, their mind remembers the joy, the safety, the excitement, and the depth of what they lost. Every small action you take, every choice you make, is a reflection of the internal work you are doing. This isn't about pretending to be better, it's about becoming better in ways that matter, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You are sharpening the parts of yourself that make love irresistible, calm confidence, emotional resilience, clarity of intention, and the kind of vulnerability that inspires connection rather than fear. Think about what it will feel like to stand in that energy, to communicate with them, not from a place of lack, but from a place of strength. Each word you choose, each moment of silence you honor, carries weight. People are drawn to authenticity, and when they sense that you have healed, that you have grown, that you are not just seeking them but inviting them to share a better version of life together, it becomes impossible for them to ignore. Your presence alone becomes a message more powerful than any text, any plea, or any memory. And here is the most important truth. The power to reconnect doesn't lie in convincing, bargaining, or reminding them of the past. It lies in the transformation within you. Every ounce of effort you pour into becoming the best version of yourself compounds into energy that touches them on a level words cannot reach. You are creating a magnetic field around your heart that calls them in naturally. They will feel it, they will respond to it, and it will change everything about how they see you. Your growth, your focus, your unwavering commitment to your own worth is the catalyst that can turn longing into reunion, absence into presence, and regret into desire. When you step fully into this power, you will realize that everything you feared losing is not lost. It is waiting for you to rise, to stand in your truth, and to claim it. Every heartbeat, every quiet reflection, every deliberate choice you make now is building momentum toward the moment when connection is not only possible, but inevitable. This is not wishful thinking. This is psychology, this is energy, this is transformation, and it starts with your unwavering belief in yourself. Every thought you allow to linger in your mind shapes the reality you are stepping into. Right now, you may feel caught between hope and doubt, yearning and frustration, wondering if they will ever come back or if it is too late. That tension is not a weakness, it is an opportunity. It is the raw material of transformation. The way you respond to it, the way you channel it, determines not just the outcome with them, but the trajectory of your entire life. The truth is, nothing in the external world can pull them closer until you pull yourself together first. Your energy, your clarity, your presence. These are the silent messages that speak louder than words. When you embody them fully, you stop needing to chase. You stop needing to explain. You begin to radiate a power that makes them see you, remember you, and feel the loss of distance in a way that is undeniable. Focus on the internal. Focus on your mind, your heart, your emotional alignment. Every regret you carry, every what if that haunts you, must be transformed into insight, into understanding. Reflect on the patterns, the choices, the moments where love faltered. Not to blame, not to punish yourself, but to grow. Every insight you gain, every layer of self-awareness you cultivate is a signal to them, whether they know it or not, that you are evolving. People are drawn to growth, to those who rise above their past rather than sink beneath it. The stronger your inner foundation, the more magnetic your energy becomes, the more they are naturally pulled toward the truth of who you are now. Your desire to reconnect must be paired with restraint. It is not about sending endless messages. It is not about pleading for attention. It is about creating a presence so compelling that they cannot help but notice the shift. Your words, when they come, must be precise, deliberate, and filled with quiet power. Silence, when balanced with growth, becomes one of the most effective forces you can wield. It speaks confidence. It demonstrates that you are not dependent on their response for your self-worth. It shows that your life is full, rich, and meaningful even in their absence. This energy is magnetic because it is authentic. It is the energy of someone who has faced loss and chosen to rise, not collapse. Every interaction, every gesture, every expression must reflect this transformation. Your voice, your tone, your presence, each carries the imprint of who you have become. When you finally choose to speak, to reach out, to open the door, it will not be a plea. It will be an invitation to reconnect with someone who has become stronger, wiser, and more vibrant because of the time apart. That invitation has power because it comes from integrity, from emotional mastery, and from the deep understanding that love is not earned through desperation, but through authenticity and presence. Imagine the shift that occurs when they feel this energy. The sudden recognition that the person they thought they knew has grown, evolved, and reclaimed themselves in ways they never expected. Their heart, their attention, their desire, all of it will respond to the transformation within you before a single word is exchanged. This is the alchemy of presence, the psychology of attraction, the profound truth that reconnecting is never about chasing. It is about becoming the person whose energy naturally draws them back. Each moment you spend refining yourself, each choice you make to honor your own worth, compounds into momentum, momentum that will carry you into a space where reunion is not forced, but inevitable. Every moment you spend worrying about their feelings, their choices, or their absence is a moment you could be investing in your own power. The strongest energy comes from detachment, not indifference, but the unwavering focus on your own growth, your own clarity, your own emotional alignment. When you are fully engaged in becoming the best version of yourself, your heart radiates a frequency that cannot be ignored. It speaks to the parts of them that still remember love, joy, and connection, but it does so without pleading, without fear, and without compromise. That is the energy that sparks desire. That is the energy that pulls someone back, not through manipulation, but through the undeniable magnetism of authenticity and self-mastery. You must understand that the words you eventually speak are only a reflection of the energy you carry. A single phrase, perfectly timed, perfectly aligned, can open doors that months of messages or attempts to convince cannot. But that phrase, that vibration, only works if it comes from a heart that is healed, a mind that is clear, and a presence that is unshakable. Every insecurity, every lingering doubt, every moment of self-pity must be transformed into insight, into resilience, into the quiet strength that says, I am whole, I am valuable, and I am ready for love in its truest form. That is the energy that resonates beyond logic, that bypasses resistance and touches the soul. Your focus cannot be on proving your worth to them. They already know it deep down. Your focus must be on embodying it fully so that when they encounter you, they cannot help but feel the difference. The way you carry yourself, the calm certainty in your eyes, the deliberate choices you make, all become a language that speaks to the subconscious, to the parts of the heart that remember intimacy, trust, and connection. Every step you take in self-mastery is a step toward creating an environment where reunion is natural, where desire is reignited, and where past mistakes are overshadowed by the strength and growth you now represent. This is not about rushing. It is about timing, presence, and energy. The universe and human connection responds to alignment. When you are aligned with your own worth, your own purpose, and your own emotional power, the right moments, the right words, and the right energy come effortlessly. You no longer have to chase. You no longer have to plead. You have transformed the pursuit into a state of being, a state that naturally draws them in, that naturally rekindles what was lost, and that naturally inspires a deeper, more meaningful connection than ever before. Every action, every thought, every choice you make now compounds into a magnetic force. Your inner world shapes your outer reality. When you radiate clarity, confidence, and emotional intelligence, they sense it, whether they consciously understand why or not. Your presence becomes a living testament to transformation, to resilience, and to undeniable value. And when the moment comes to speak, to reach out, to extend that invitation to reconnect, you do so from a place of absolute power, absolute authenticity, and absolute self-respect. That is the energy that changes everything. That is the energy that turns absence into presence, longing into desire, and separation into reunion. The path to getting them back is not paved with desperation. It is paved with mastery of self, with emotional intelligence, and with the unwavering understanding that love is magnetic when it is grounded in truth. Every heartbeat, every choice, every silent moment of reflection is building toward the inevitability of connection, toward the moment when your presence alone makes them realize what they cannot live without, the version of you that has risen, transformed, and reclaimed their own life. That is power. That is influence. That is the key to what you desire more than anything. Every heartbeat you feel right now carries the potential to transform not just your relationship, but your entire life. The longing you experience, the ache of absence, is not a curse. It is a signal. It is the universe, your own subconscious, nudging you toward growth, toward mastery, toward the version of yourself that commands respect, attention, and love without effort. Most people let longing turn into weakness, into fear, into frantic attempts to control what they cannot. But you are not most people. You are learning the secret that attraction, true connection, and emotional influence all begin with one thing: presence. The energy you carry when you walk into a room, the way your heart beats with clarity and strength, the calm certainty in your every thought. This is the language that speaks to their soul long before words are ever spoken. You have to realize that desire is emotional, not logical. When someone feels your growth, your calm confidence, your resilience, it bypasses reasoning. It hits deep, primal circuits in their heart and mind. They may try to rationalize it, to push it aside, but the pull will be undeniable. This is why everything you do in this moment matters more than you realize. Every decision to honor your worth, every choice to focus on your own clarity and self-mastery builds a magnetic force, a force that draws them back naturally, effortlessly, because it is authentic. It is impossible to ignore someone who radiates this energy, someone who has transformed pain into power, absence into presence, and longing into a quiet but irresistible force. You must embrace the discipline of restraint. Every time you feel the urge to reach out impulsively, to speak from fear or longing, you have an opportunity to strengthen your inner control. This restraint is not about denial. It is about strategic energy management. It is about cultivating a presence so compelling that they notice every subtle change, every quiet act of self-improvement, and feel compelled to reconnect, not because you chase them, but because they sense the evolution within you. Each moment you resist the temptation to seek validation, each choice to honor yourself first, amplifies your magnetic energy and reshapes the connection in ways that words alone could never achieve. Your focus now must be on alignment. Align your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your intentions. When these elements resonate in harmony, you create an invisible signal that calls them in. It is the psychology of attraction in its purest form. People are naturally drawn to those who are complete, who exude calm certainty, who demonstrate emotional intelligence, and who understand the power of timing and presence. The more you invest in cultivating this energy, the more unavoidable your pull becomes. Their attention, their desire, their recognition. It all responds to what you radiate from within, not what you attempt to force externally. Picture the moment when they encounter this new version of you, the version that has transformed pain into purpose, absence into strength, and longing into deliberate, controlled energy. They will feel it immediately, instinctively, on a level deeper than thought. That feeling will stir memories, emotions, and desires they may have thought were gone. Your transformation becomes the bridge, the force that reconnects hearts, minds, and souls. Every disciplined choice you make now, every step you take toward self-mastery, builds the momentum that makes that reconnection not just possible, but inevitable. This is how power works. This is how attraction works. This is how you turn longing into reunion. Every thought you entertain shapes the energy you radiate, and every feeling you allow to take root strengthens or weakens the invisible signal that draws them back. Right now, the temptation to dwell on what went wrong, to obsess over mistakes, is powerful, but dwelling keeps you trapped in a cycle of fear and self-doubt. The most magnetic energy comes from release, from clarity, from the decision to no longer carry the weight of what has passed without purpose. Transform every regret into insight, every longing into deliberate action, and every moment of pain into a reminder of your own resilience. This is how you shift from desperation to presence, from pleading to attraction, from absence to reunion. You must understand that influence is energy, not words. The phrases you will eventually speak will only carry weight if they are supported by the transformation inside you. When you feel whole, when you carry calm confidence and unshakable self-respect, your words become electric. They penetrate defenses, awaken dormant emotions, and stir desire that cannot be ignored. People are drawn to energy first and rationale second. That is why this inner work is not optional. It is essential. Every moment you invest in cultivating patience, focus, and emotional intelligence multiplies your impact. It is the quiet mastery of self that commands attention, not frantic attempts to prove worth. Your presence must become magnetic before your communication becomes intentional. Every choice you make now, every act of self-care, every step toward emotional resilience, Every moment of discipline amplifies the energy that calls them in. Silence, when coupled with growth, becomes one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. It speaks confidence. It demonstrates that you are complete, that your life is full, and that your self-worth does not depend on their immediate response. This energy is irresistible because it is rooted in authenticity. When they encounter it, they feel a pull that bypasses logic and taps directly into longing, memory, and desire. Focus on alignment. Align your thoughts with clarity, your emotions with strength, and your actions with purpose. Each decision you make in this space is a deliberate step toward becoming someone impossible to ignore. Growth must precede action. Transformation must precede conversation. Presence must precede persuasion. When you achieve this alignment, the world and the people in it respond automatically. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer plead, you inspire. Every interaction, every subtle shift, every controlled choice compounds into a force that pulls them toward the truth of who you have become. Visualize the moment when they sense this energy, the calm certainty, the quiet strength, the magnetic presence that has emerged from your pain and growth. They will feel it deeply, instinctively, without you having to say a single word. That energy awakens memory, desire, and recognition. It reminds them of what they loved and reveals what they have been missing. Each disciplined step you take now, each moment of restraint, each act of self-mastery builds toward this inevitable reconnection. The power to transform longing into reunion lies not in chasing, pleading, or convincing. It lies in becoming the person whose energy calls them back naturally, irresistibly, and authentically. This is your moment. This is your power. Every second you spend doubting your worth, every moment you feel unworthy of love, chips away at the energy that could draw them back effortlessly. Your mind will try to convince you that absence is final, that what was lost can never return, that you are powerless. But that is a lie. Power is not given, it is claimed. Power is the energy you generate when you rise above fear, when you cultivate emotional mastery, when you carry yourself with unwavering self-respect. This energy reaches far beyond logic. It taps into the deepest parts of the human heart, the parts that remember connection, intimacy, and the electric pull of authentic presence. When you claim this power, when you become the version of yourself that cannot be ignored, the connection you desire becomes not only possible, but inevitable. You must focus relentlessly on your inner state. External attempts to reconnect without internal alignment are futile. Every word, every message, every interaction will carry weight only if it mirrors the transformation within you. That transformation is built on self-awareness, emotional control, and clarity of purpose. It is built on quiet confidence, not noise. It is built on strength, not desperation. Every choice you make, from how you manage your thoughts to how you spend your energy, compounds into a magnetic force. That force radiates out, whether they notice consciously or not. It shapes how they perceive you, how they remember you, and how they feel drawn back to you. The energy of restraint is more powerful than the energy of pursuit. Every time you resist the urge to seek validation, to explain, or to justify, you reinforce your presence. You demonstrate, without saying a word, that you are whole, that your value is undeniable, and that you are in control of your own life. This is irresistible. It awakens desire because it communicates that connection is an opportunity, not a necessity. It signals strength, independence, and integrity, the qualities that humans are instinctively drawn to. Your growth, your focus, and your emotional mastery act as a beacon, a signal that calls them in naturally and powerfully. You must become deliberate in every aspect of your energy. Align your thoughts with clarity, your emotions with strength, and your actions with intentionality. Every act of self-care, every moment of reflection, every disciplined choice you make now compounds into influence that cannot be fabricated. It is not about manipulation or persuasion. It is about becoming magnetic through authenticity and presence. When they encounter this, they feel it immediately. They feel it in the way you move, the calm certainty in your voice, the depth in your eyes. They sense that you have healed, that you have grown, and that you are no longer the person who depended on them for your value. That is the energy that rekindles desire and awakens reconnection. Picture the inevitability of this moment. The moment when they encounter the transformed version of you. Calm, confident, unshakable, magnetic. The moment when your presence alone reminds them of what they loved, awakens what they have missed, and stirs longing that cannot be denied. Every choice you make now, every disciplined step you take towards self-mastery, builds momentum toward this reunion. This is the core truth. Reconnection is not forced. It is earned through transformation, through energy, through presence. Your growth, your clarity, and your strength are the invisible threads that draw them back, and nothing else in the world holds more power than the energy of a heart fully aligned with itself. The energy you carry right now is the single most important factor in whether you reconnect or remain in longing. Every thought of doubt, every self-critical whisper weakens the signal that could draw them back naturally. You must claim control over your mind, your emotions, and your presence. This is not about controlling them. It is about controlling yourself, your energy, and your response to absence. The strongest attraction is rooted in presence, in the unwavering clarity that says you are whole, you are complete, and you are not dependent on anyone else to validate your worth. That is magnetic. That is irresistible. That is the force that will pull them toward you, not because you chase, but because your energy commands attention. You have to understand that longing alone is not enough. Longing without transformation is weakness and it repels. Transformation is the key. Transformation is the quiet, deliberate cultivation of clarity, emotional mastery, and strength. It is the daily choice to rise above fear, to honor your value, and to carry yourself with calm certainty. This is the energy that communicates desire without pleading. This is the energy that stirs memory, awakens emotion, and triggers attraction on a level deeper than thought. Every act of self-discipline, every moment you resist chasing, every step you take toward your own alignment multiplies this power exponentially. Restraint is one of the most potent tools you possess. Every time you resist the urge to reach out impulsively, every time you choose self-respect over instant gratification, you amplify the magnetic pull of your presence. Silence, patience, and inner focus do more to create desire than any message, call, or attempt to remind them of the past. This is not manipulation. This is mastery. When they feel your quiet power, your calm certainty, your self-possession, they will sense the transformation even before you speak. They will feel it in the way your energy moves through the space, in the subtle confidence of your demeanor, and in the sense of stability and strength that you now carry. Your words, when they finally come, will carry weight because they are the echo of your transformation. Words alone cannot create desire or reconnection. They must be supported by the energy you radiate. That energy is cultivated in silence, in discipline, and in alignment. Every thought you choose, every emotion you regulate, and every action you take now becomes a building block of magnetic influence. When they encounter you, they will not see desperation. They will see power, presence, and undeniable value. That is the energy that rekindles longing, awakens memory, and invites reconnection. Visualize the inevitability of this moment, the moment when your presence, your energy, and your clarity become undeniable, the moment when they feel drawn not by pleading, but by the magnetic force of your transformation. Every choice you make now, every disciplined act of self-mastery, every moment spent in clarity and alignment compounds into momentum that cannot be resisted. The pull is natural, organic, and powerful because it comes from truth. Your growth, your calm confidence, and your unwavering sense of worth are the invisible forces that will make them see you, remember you, and feel compelled to reconnect. This is not wishful thinking. It is the psychology of attraction, the energy of transformation, and the power of presence made real. Every moment you invest in self-mastery is a moment that compounds into magnetic influence. The pull you wish to create is not built on words alone. It is built on energy, presence, and the unshakable sense of self-worth that radiates from within. Right now, your mind may be filled with fear, doubt, and the temptation to act impulsively. That is natural. But natural does not equal effective. The strongest energy comes from discipline, from patience, and from the deliberate choice to focus inward before reaching outward. Your growth, your clarity, your emotional control are the engines that will generate the attraction you seek. Without them, no text, no call, no attempt to reconnect can achieve the transformation you desire. You must embrace the power of alignment. Align your thoughts with clarity, your emotions with strength, and your actions with purpose. When these elements resonate together, you become a signal impossible to ignore. People are drawn to completeness, to presence, and to the kind of quiet confidence that communicates, without words, that you are whole. That wholeness is irresistible because it is rare. It is not created through desperation, manipulation, or pleading. It is created through the mastery of self, the ability to hold your energy steady, to regulate your emotions, and to radiate calm confidence even in the face of longing. This is the invisible force that awakens desire, stirs memory, and reignites connection. Restraint is a form of power that most people underestimate. Every time you resist reaching out impulsively, every time you choose to honor your own value instead of reacting to absence, you increase the pull of your presence. Silence, when paired with growth and emotional intelligence, communicates more than words ever could. It shows that you are complete, that you are in control, and that connection with you is not a right, but a privilege. This energy creates tension, anticipation, and curiosity, psychological triggers that stir longing at a deep instinctive level. The more deliberate you are with your energy, the stronger the gravitational pull becomes, and the more they are naturally drawn toward you without any effort on your part. Every thought, every choice, every moment of self-discipline contributes to this momentum. The energy you cultivate now will shape how they perceive you, how they feel in your presence, and how they remember what they lost. Words alone cannot create attraction. They are amplified only when backed by the invisible force of transformation. When they sense that you have healed, that you have grown, that you carry calm confidence and unshakable worth, it awakens emotions they may have buried. Desire is a response to energy, not logic, and your energy is now being refined into something irresistible. Picture the inevitability of this transformation. The moment when your presence, your clarity, and your strength become impossible to ignore. The moment when your energy awakens memory, desire, and longing in ways that no argument or explanation ever could. Every disciplined step you take towards self-mastery, every act of restraint, and every choice to cultivate clarity compounds into momentum that draws them naturally back to you. This is the power of alignment. This is the power of presence. This is the power that transforms longing into reunion, absence into connection, and desire into action. When you fully embody this energy, nothing can resist it, and everything you wish to create becomes inevitable. Every ounce of energy you carry right now is shaping the reality you are moving toward. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, they are not separate from the outcome you desire. They are the very foundation of it. If you dwell in fear, self-doubt, or neediness, you weaken the magnetic signal that draws them back. If you focus on transformation, self-mastery, and clarity, you amplify it. Attraction is not created through chasing. It is created through presence. It is the calm certainty that you are complete, the unshakable sense of worth that radiates through every interaction, every pause, every choice. That energy speaks volumes without a single word. You must recognize the power of your inner state. Every moment of impatience, every reaction born of longing, is a step away from the force that will naturally reconnect you. True influence begins with control. Control over your thoughts, your feelings, and your responses. When you master this, when you cultivate emotional intelligence and resilience, you carry an energy that is irresistible. It reaches the parts of their heart that logic cannot touch, the parts that remember love, safety, and desire. Transformation is internal first. Connection is external second. Your power lies not in convincing them, but in embodying the person they cannot resist noticing. Restraint is your greatest tool. Every act of patience, every moment you choose self-respect over instant gratification strengthens your magnetic presence. Silence, when paired with growth and confidence, communicates a force stronger than any words could. It shows that you are whole, that your life is full, and that your love is not desperate. It is intentional, powerful, and valuable. That is the energy that awakens longing, reignites attraction, and compels reconnection. You are creating a gravitational pull through authenticity, not through manipulation. The more deliberate you are with your energy, the more natural and inevitable the response becomes. Alignment is key. Align your thoughts with clarity, your emotions with calm strength, and your actions with deliberate purpose. Every disciplined choice you make compounds into influence. Every moment of self-mastery builds momentum that moves beyond words. When they encounter this energy, they will feel it before they understand it. They will sense the growth, the confidence, the emotional depth that has emerged from your discipline. That awareness awakens memory, stirs desire, and creates a tension that cannot be ignored. You are no longer someone chasing. You are someone magnetic, irresistible, and grounded in truth. Picture the moment when your energy, presence, and clarity converge in their awareness. The moment when they feel the pull of someone transformed, someone stronger, wiser, and fully alive. The moment when the invisible force you have cultivated awakens longing, desire, and recognition that cannot be resisted. Every disciplined step you take now, every act of self-control, and every choice to refine your presence compounds into momentum that naturally draws them closer. This is the psychology of attraction in action. This is the power of alignment, presence, and transformation. This is how longing becomes reunion, absence becomes connection, and desire becomes action. You are the force that makes it inevitable. Every thought you allow to dominate your mind right now shapes the energy you project into the world. If you dwell on doubt, on fear, or on the idea that it is too late, you weaken the force that could naturally draw them back. Every second spent questioning your worth or fearing rejection chips away at the magnetism you are cultivating. But every moment you focus on your own growth, on clarity, and on emotional mastery compounds into a power that cannot be ignored. Presence, calm confidence, and self-respect are the invisible forces that speak to desire on a level beyond words. The more you embody them, the more irresistible you become. You have to understand that longing alone is not enough. Desire, connection, and attraction are created by energy, not by chasing or pleading. The words you will eventually speak are only effective if they reflect the transformation within you. Every action, every decision, every moment of self-discipline now builds that transformation. Emotional control, resilience, and alignment become the foundation for influence that is subtle but unstoppable. The magnetic force you are creating reaches their heart before logic has a chance to intervene. It taps into memory, longing, and the deep pull of recognition that they cannot resist. Restraint is not weakness, it is strength. Each moment you resist reaching out impulsively, each choice to honor your worth over immediate gratification, strengthens the energy that naturally attracts them. Silence, when paired with presence and growth, communicates more than any words ever could. It signals completeness, calm certainty, and the power of someone who does not need validation to recognize their own value. That energy awakens desire because it demonstrates that connection is an opportunity, not a necessity. It communicates strength, independence, and integrity, the qualities that awaken longing in ways words never can. Alignment amplifies this effect. Align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with clarity and purpose. Every deliberate choice compounds into influence. Every act of self-mastery builds momentum, and every moment spent refining your presence strengthens the invisible pull. When they encounter this energy, they will feel it immediately. They will sense the transformation, the confidence, and the depth that radiates from your being. That feeling sparks longing, rekindles attraction, and creates a pull that is impossible to ignore. You are no longer chasing. You are becoming the force that draws them naturally and powerfully toward you. Visualize the moment when your energy converges in their awareness. The moment when your presence, clarity, and strength create recognition, desire, and curiosity. That pull is not forced. It is the natural result of the transformation you have cultivated within yourself. Every disciplined choice, every act of self-restraint, and every moment of focus compounds into momentum that moves them toward you without manipulation. This is the psychology of attraction, the energy of presence, and the power of personal transformation made real. Your growth, your alignment, and your self-mastery are the invisible currents that turn absence into connection, longing into reunion, and desire into action. The force you are building is inevitable, and it begins with the mastery of yourself. Every moment you spend worrying about their thoughts or actions weakens the energy that could naturally draw them back. Your power does not lie in chasing, convincing, or pleading. It lies in presence, in clarity, and in the unwavering sense of your own worth. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you allow, every action you take either strengthens or diminishes the force that radiates from you. This is why internal transformation is not optional. It is essential. The stronger, calmer, and more aligned you become, the more magnetic your energy grows and the more naturally they are drawn toward you. You must recognize that longing alone is ineffective. Desire and attraction are created by energy, not by repeated attempts to contact or persuade. The words you speak will carry weight only when they reflect the power, clarity, and confidence that you have cultivated inside. Emotional mastery, self-respect, and deliberate focus create a presence that reaches their heart before any rational thought intervenes. It awakens memory, stirs longing, and taps into desire in a way that no logic or explanation ever could. This invisible influence is built through consistent discipline, deliberate choices, and unwavering commitment to your own growth. Restraint is a key pillar of this magnetic presence. Every time you resist impulsive contact, every moment you choose self-respect over immediate gratification, you increase your power exponentially. Silence, when paired with authentic growth and emotional control, communicates a quiet strength that words cannot match. It signals that you are complete, that your life is full, and that connection with you is a privilege, not a necessity. This energy awakens desire because it demonstrates strength, independence, and integrity, the qualities that ignite longing on a deep instinctual level. Alignment amplifies this energy. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony, you radiate a force that cannot be ignored. Every act of self-mastery, every moment of deliberate focus, every choice to cultivate clarity compounds into influence. When they encounter this energy, they feel it immediately. They sense the transformation, the confidence, and the depth that has emerged from your discipline. That energy triggers attraction, awakens desire, and creates a pull that is natural and irresistible. You are no longer chasing, you are magnetizing. Visualize the moment when your presence becomes undeniable. The moment when they feel the weight of your transformation, the quiet power that radiates from every aspect of who you are. That pull is not forced. It is a natural consequence of the internal work you have done. Every disciplined step, every choice to maintain emotional control, and every moment spent refining your energy compounds into momentum. That momentum draws them toward you effortlessly, naturally, and powerfully. This is the psychology of attraction, the force of alignment, and the energy of transformation made real. Your growth, clarity, and self-mastery are the invisible currents that convert absence into connection, longing into reunion, and desire into action. The energy you cultivate within yourself is inevitable, unstoppable, and magnetic. Every thought you allow to dominate your mind shapes the energy you radiate, and every feeling you nurture either strengthens or weakens the force that could naturally draw them back. Doubt, fear, and longing can cloud your presence, dilute your magnetism, and delay the reconnection you desire. But when you focus on your own growth, clarity, and emotional mastery, you create a force that cannot be ignored. True attraction is not manufactured through chasing, pleading, or explaining. It is generated from presence, from calm confidence, and from the unshakable understanding of your own worth. That energy communicates without words, stirs desire, and awakens recognition on a level beyond logic. You must realize that longing alone does not bring them closer. Desire is a response to energy, not to repetition or argument. The words you will eventually speak will only carry weight if they reflect the transformation you have cultivated within. Emotional control, resilience, and deliberate focus create a presence that resonates in ways that logic cannot interfere with. The energy you build internally awakens memory, rekindles longing, and taps into the deepest parts of their heart. It is subtle but unstoppable. Every act of self-discipline, every choice to honor your value, and every moment of reflection compounds into a magnetic force that pulls naturally and powerfully. Restraint is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Each moment you resist reaching out impulsively, each time you choose self-respect over immediate gratification, you strengthen the energy that draws them in. Silence, when paired with growth and authentic presence, communicates more than any words ever could. It signals wholeness, calm confidence, and the reality that connection with you is an opportunity, not a necessity. That energy awakens desire, reignites attraction, and creates tension that pulls them naturally toward you. The more intentional you are with your energy, the more inevitable their response becomes. Alignment magnifies this effect. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony, your energy becomes a force that cannot be ignored. Every act of self-mastery, every disciplined choice, every moment spent cultivating presence compounds into influence. When they encounter this energy, they sense it immediately. They feel the transformation, the confidence, and the depth that has emerged from your focus and discipline. That sensation triggers longing, reignites attraction, and pulls them toward you naturally. You are no longer someone chasing. You are the source of magnetic energy that draws without effort. Visualize the moment when your presence converges with their awareness, the moment when your clarity, strength, and transformation become undeniable. That pull is not forced. It is the natural outcome of the internal work you have done. Every deliberate action, every choice to maintain emotional control, and every step towards self-mastery compounds into momentum that naturally draws them back. This is the psychology of attraction, the energy of presence, and the force of personal transformation made tangible. Your growth, alignment, and unshakable sense of self-worth are the invisible currents that turn absence into connection, longing into reunion, and desire into action. The energy you cultivate within yourself is unstoppable, magnetic, and inevitable. Every thought you allow to dominate your mind, every feeling you nurture, and every choice you make is shaping the energy that surrounds you. Doubt and fear can cloud your presence, drain your confidence, and weaken the magnetic force you are building. But when you anchor yourself in clarity, in calm certainty, and in unshakable self-worth, you generate a force that cannot be ignored. True attraction is not manufactured through chasing, pleading, or explaining. It is born from presence. It is the quiet confidence, the steady energy, and the unwavering understanding of your own value that draws people in naturally, effortlessly, and powerfully. That energy communicates before a single word is spoken. You must understand that longing alone cannot bring them closer. Desire is a response to energy, not to repetition or persuasion. The words you eventually speak will only carry weight when they reflect the transformation you have cultivated within. Emotional mastery, resilience, and deliberate focus create a presence that resonates deeply, bypassing logic and touching the core of their heart. Every moment you invest in strengthening yourself compounds into a magnetic force that pulls without effort, awakens memory, and stirs desire that has been dormant. This is the invisible power that changes dynamics, shifts perceptions, and reignites connection. Restraint is not a limitation. It is a weapon of influence. Each time you resist the urge to reach out impulsively, every moment you choose self-respect over instant gratification, you amplify the energy that naturally draws them in. Silence, when paired with personal growth and authentic presence, communicates more than words ever could. It signals completeness, calm confidence, and the fact that your value is undeniable. That energy awakens longing, stirs attraction, and creates tension that pulls them towards you without manipulation. The more intentional and disciplined you are with your energy, the stronger the pull becomes, and the more inevitable the response. Alignment magnifies this effect exponentially. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are synchronized with clarity and purpose, your energy becomes irresistible. Every disciplined choice, every act of self-mastery, and every moment spent cultivating presence compounds into influence that cannot be ignored. When they sense this energy, they feel it instantly. They notice the transformation, the confidence, and the depth that has emerged from your growth. That energy sparks longing, reignites desire, and draws them naturally toward you. You are no longer someone who chases. You are someone whose presence magnetizes without effort. Picture the moment when your energy converges with their awareness, the moment when your strength, clarity, and transformation become undeniable. That pull is not forced. It is the natural consequence of the work you have done. Every choice to maintain emotional control, every deliberate action towards self-mastery, and every disciplined step compounds into momentum that draws them naturally back to you. This is the psychology of attraction, the force of presence, and the power of personal transformation made tangible. Your growth, clarity, and unshakable sense of self-worth are the invisible currents that turn absence into connection, longing into reunion, and desire into action. The energy you cultivate within yourself is magnetic, unstoppable, and inevitable. Every choice you make right now, every thought you entertain, every feeling you allow to dominate is shaping the energy that surrounds you. Doubt and fear try to weaken your presence, to dilute the magnetic force you are building, to convince that connection is impossible. But this is the critical moment where power is claimed. When you anchor yourself in clarity, calm certainty, and unshakable self-worth, you generate an invisible force that cannot be ignored. True attraction does not come from chasing, pleading, or explaining. It comes from presence, from strength, from the quiet, steady energy of someone who knows their value and refuses to compromise it. That energy communicates before words, before gestures, before anything external can even matter. You must understand that longing alone is ineffective. Desire is a response to energy, not to repetition, persuasion, or logic. The words you will eventually speak gain power only when they reflect the transformation you have cultivated within. Emotional mastery, resilience, and deliberate focus create a presence that reaches their heart before the mind has a chance to interfere. Every act of self-discipline, every moment of patience, every decision to honor your value compounds into a magnetic force that awakens memory, stirs longing, and pulls naturally. This is the invisible influence that shifts dynamics, sparks recognition, and reignites connection on a level beyond reasoning. Restraint is not limitation, it is power.